All right, psychology of attraction. I'd be lying to you if I didn't say that I have that Tina Turner song "What's Love Got to Do with It" rolling around in my brain. I will not sing it for you though, so don't shut off the video. But we're going to look at the psychology of attraction, right? Social psychology is obviously a big deal. We talked already about first impressions and how important first impressions can be when we're learning about somebody. But obviously, if you're going to have a relationship with somebody, either a friendship or a romantic relationship, you have to get beyond that idea of that first encounter, right? And so, what we do is we make a determination that we want to um, be in a deeper relationship with this person. Like I said, either romantically or as a friend, um, and we look for social support from that person. And we form what's called social psychologists call a close relationship. Now, these are important because if they're positive, they can really have a great influence on our self worth, on our self esteem. They can put us in a more positive mood. So, the people that we are gravitating towards having these relationships can have a great deal of power over our own thoughts and feelings about ourselves and about the world, about other people, those sorts of things. Um, what we get is interpersonal interaction and interpersonal attraction, right? And so, what we have figured out is that in a lot of these things, there is a strong physical attraction, right, that'll happen between people, especially if this is going to turn into kind of a romantic relationship. We're drawn first to a person physically. They've done experiments and said basically there are two things people really like. One is a youthful appearance, and so there are certain characteristics you'll see in your reading that deal with youthfulness that can be attractive to people, and also symmetry. And it's the idea that, especially if you look at somebody's face, that the right side and the left side match up. Right, everything's evenly spaced and all in the same way. But what happens there is that physical attraction can cause a dangerous psychological stereotype. It's called the physical attractiveness stereotype. And the idea is that we think that just because somebody's pretty, right, or somebody's handsome, somebody's attractive to us, then they have a lot of other good qualities as well, right? Well, this person's um, a attractive person, so they must be an honest person or a moral person or a caring person. When really we don't have any evidence of that at all, right? But the stereotype is okay. Well, you're pretty, so you must have all of these other things too. We also are attracted to people who are similar to us. We are. I think probably you go back. We're just kind of wired to be in groups, and part of the protection is me saying, well, "You're like me," right? So that means we should look out for each other. And so similarity, and it, usually physical similarity. Somebody that's tall. If you're tall, it could even be racial things like that are there. And a lot of times, what this will lead to is the idea of what social psychologists call passionate love, which is just kind of that first attraction that's going to draw people in. There are other things that are going to come in though, and that passionate love is going to, if this relationship is going to deepen, change into what is called compassionate love. Now I've got Carl and Ellie up here, and if you've seen the movie Up, it's a beautiful, like the first 4 minutes of that movie are just gorgeous, and it's a beautiful story, and then it rips your heart out before he goes on the adventure. But compassionate love is love that's based on friendship, on mutual attraction, not just physically but intellectually, that sort of thing, common interest, respect that you have for each other. And what we see with compassionate love is you've moved beyond physical attraction to telling each other things, right? So it's called reciprocal self disclosure, right? Which doesn't sound very fun, but it's the idea that you just share parts of yourself with that other person, right? We're getting into a couple of weeks in the relationship, you start to share some of those things. You're not worried about that first impression anymore. And so you start to go deeper in that relationship. And what social psychologists will tell you is there's really two types of these compassionate relationships. One is communal, which basically means, hey, we're in this together. These are couples or friendships where there's an awful lot of your lives that overlap, that have, where you've got just a lot of things that you're sharing. You can also have exchange relationships where, well, this is what I'm getting out of the relationship. This is what you're getting out of the relationship. Usually, those don't have the same level of depth as far as connection goes. It's just, hey, this is what I'm getting out of the relationship and what you're getting out of the relationship. There's a psychologist named Sternberg who came up with a triangular theory of love, and it's basically that you've got these three factors that come in. You've got intimacy, commitment, and passion. And if you've got all three of those in a relationship, that's called consummate love. If you've got passion and intimacy, it's romantic love. If you've got intimacy and commitment, you can see there it's companionate love. And then fatuous love, passion and commitment that are there. If you've got all three of those things, right, then that's considered to be consummate love. So you've got all the factors you need for a deep relationship. And again, this, it starts with that idea of physical attraction, but there have to be other things that are happening, other steps that are happening for the relationship to go to a deeper level.